Okay, so here's the video on how to make the hidden blade prop that I designed. It's a little more in-depth than a presentation I gave earlier today on it, but I'll also include that presentation for more details as well, in case I forget to go over anything. Now, it essentially functions where you wear it on your wrist, and then you have to do a flicking motion in order to actually have it come out, extend to its full length. Now, in order to actually make this, you need to have purchased a collapsible Tai Chi Sword on Amazon, which is a little less than $20. That's the method in which I took to make this. I am unsure of where else to buy one, and considering that's the only place that I've actually bought it. And now what you'll need to do when you first obtain the collapsible Tai Chi Sword is to dismantle it and take out the last three segments of the blade, which being this being the first part, and then the second part, and then finally the third part. Now, the way this functions is that once it's fully extended, in order to retract it, there's a string that's actually attached to the end part on the interior, and now when you pull on that, it pulls this inside, and then when you pull on that, it'll pull into there. Now, in order for that to actually work, you have to put the first piece inside the second piece after you've glued the string to it, and then you need to glue that part closed enough so this way, when it's pulled closed, it'll pull this into the third part. And then finally, what you'll need to do is then glue that third part shut, so this way it doesn't pull out. Now, I use a hot glue gun for my method due to the fact that I'm a college student and I don't have a lot of money to go and experiment on better methods. And I bet there's other methods and other ways in which you could probably change the housing of the actual thing to accompany it so this way it doesn't pull all the way out. Now, the next method, or the next thing that you have to do is you have to have a strap so this way you can attach it to the actual blade housing. What I did was I took some old backpacks that I had lying around that were broken and weren't really worth using. One, for example, that didn't even zip close anymore. And I cut off the actual straps to the backpack. They're adjustable, so you can like pull them and it changes the length of the strap. And what I did was I cut them off at the the longest lengths, and then glued them together and tried to adjust them so this way it would fit around the wrist and then forearm. So this way it essentially then works better. And depending on the person that it's being made for, you may have to tailor make it so this way it fits their arm or fits whatever like prosthetic or clothing that it's going on. Because this can either go, in order for this function, it has to be above clothing, because the string otherwise will get caught and won't really function, and then you can't really pull it closed. So now the next portion is when you're done doing that, you'll also want to attach the straps to the actual third portion of the blade, the housing as I like to call it, and do that with hot glue. And next you'll want to, as I said, try and adjust it to make sure that it's at the right length, so this way when it's attached to the forearm and arm. And then you'll want to have adhesive Velcro straps, which are very easy to obtain. You can go and find them at like a store, like a utility store, housing store. I got mine in the town here where I go to school. And then you want to put them on there and then put them on both sides. This way when you have it fully strapped, you actually just put it together and then it won't flop around or move around and stays in place. Now, the next part is due to the fact that with the way I wear mine, I wear it on my actual arm itself and I don't wear it over clothing. I made a brace, as I like to call it, to prevent the straps from digging into my arm. You may want to do the same. Like I said, it depends on like whatever your costume is and whatever your costume entails. What I did is I took I was missing a sock for a dress sock, so I used that other one that was left to actually I cut it off at where the ankle is, and then I just essentially slip it onto my actual arm. This way it's fits right there. And then you simply just slide this. You want to make sure that the straps are open and adjusted so this way you can actually get it onto your arm as well. And then slide it in place, allowing it to stay on your arm. Now you may have to adjust it so this way it has a right fit. And then you go, I start at the wrist, and then you pull it as tight as you can. Not too tight to where it cuts off your circulation, but tight enough to where it won't like slide off. And then you go up the arm, and then I tend to go really tight on the top of the arm. I don't know why. It's just way it doesn't go sliding all over the place. And then it's attached. Allows it for adjusting. You can move your wrist. You can move your wrist down as far as it can go. And then I also try to make it so this way the metal isn't actually digging into the forearm itself. So I try to make it so the brace is actually long enough to where it goes past the actual housing itself. Now I find that wearing a glove also helps with this. It also helps stop the blade from actually sliding out like on its own. I mean, the string and the ring act as a safety as well. It's the primary reason why I originally had it in the first place, before I thought of using it to actually close the blade. And I tend to wear it on the ring, or on the pinky finger, for the fact that it's easier, and besides the ring's small, I can't really fit it around my ring finger anywhere else. And it stops it from moving out and keeps it in place. And another method is, like, just in general, it's just like wrapping it around the actual housing itself to stop it from moving altogether. Like, say you don't want to have to hold on to the string and have it sliding all around and whatnot. And then in order for this to actually work, you have to make sure that this is not like wrapped around anything. And as I said, you need to do a flicking motion. Make sure that you have, in this case because I'm wearing a glove, having your wrist out, propped out, so this way it won't prevent it from sliding out. And then you do a flicking motion to actually slide it out and actually get it to extend to its full length. It might take a couple tries to actually get it to work right, but ultimately, in order to retract it, you just pull on the string and it retracts all the way. You won't want to pull too hard, because if you're using super glue, or if you're using a hot glue gun like I did, it will actually just break if you pull too hard, and that would not be good, because then you'll have to go in there and fix it. And if you're at a function or something like that, then maybe you may not find time to actually do that. So I recommend trying to make it so this way it's solid, and make sure that you don't pull too hard breaking it. If there are any questions, please let me know, and I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial that I did on this, and thank you.